Oh man, this is a beautiful day. That is a filthy Tacoma. Wait for it. Wait for it. There it is right there. Love how the wrap hides all the dirt. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'll be going over a bunch of things you can do to make washing and caring for your Tacoma that much easier. I will be going over a ton of different products that I use, and of course I will be putting links to everything down in the description below so you can easily find them if you are interested in picking those up. So let's jump right in and see what we're doing. You're going on camera for that. Alright everybody, so today we do have some beautiful weather here in Northern Virginia. I am certainly going to take advantage and give my truck the first thorough wash of the spring season. I know we got pollen right around the corner, but it looks pretty good for now. And even though my truck is filthy right now, it's probably hard to tell aside from what you see right here on the black fenders, but the wrap is doing a pretty good job of hiding that. You can see once you get up, you can see some of the sand and stuff right there that I'm going to take care of that in just a little bit. So I'm going to go through some of the steps I do to wash my truck, and I'm going to go over a bunch of different products that I use. If you are looking for stuff to make washing and taking care of your Tacoma just a little bit easier, a lot of these things might be right up your alley, so stay tuned and let's dive right in. Okay, first and foremost on the list, I do have a pressure washer from Greenworks. The one I have is 1600 psi, you can see right there, which I found is certainly plenty to take care of your truck. The kit does come with the pressure washer unit, which is plug-in. You've got the wand attachment here, and then probably 20 feet of hose for the water. The kit also does come with these attachments, which I'll show you in more detail in just a little bit. The small white one is more like a fan spray, and the black nozzle is more like a rotational concentrated spray. I love this unit. It is super easy to use, and I cannot recommend it enough. I have found that the perfect complement to a pressure washer kit is a foam cannon like this one. It's very simple to use. All you do, you get some kind of high foaming car wash, like I'm using the Turtle Wax here. You put a little bit of that in the bottom of the canister here and then fill it up with warm water and attach it to your wand, and it's pretty much amazing. It covers the truck real quick. It looks like it just snowed on it. And the foam cannon certainly probably cuts out at least half the time because you don't really have to set anything up. It does it for you. You can spray the whole truck down real quick, sort of let gravity do its thing, and then hand wash it if you want to do that afterwards. Next up, I do have an adjustable nozzle for the wand. Today will be the first time I've actually used this thing. Someone recommended this when I did a previous video, and I'm super grateful for that because this will make spraying under the truck and getting all that nasty salt off a breeze. So you can see I can just sort of walk by the truck and do it like that, whereas before I had to get the whole wand under there and sort of do it straight on. So this is nice and adjustable. Should make taking care of that fragile undercarriage a breeze. After that, it's always good to get a nice chunk of microfiber towels. I like to use these versus, say, paper towels. You know, if you're using a glass cleaner or something like that on the glass. The microfiber towels are relatively cheap if you buy them in, like, you know, sets of 20 or 30. They're usually about 10 to 15 bucks. And I love using these things. They're super easy to clean, and like I said, I feel like they do a much better job than using paper towels or newspaper or anything like that. Next up, we do have the microfiber mitt. I actually have two mitts. I have the blue one I use for my wheels because it's a little rougher, and obviously since the wheels are probably going to be the dirtiest part of your truck with all the brake dust and all that stuff, you don't want to be cleaning your wheels and then running this down the side of your truck. So I use a rougher blue one for that, and I have the much softer, I guess, you know, neon green, neon yellow that I use actually for the body of the truck and everything else pretty much. As far as drying the truck off, if you're cleaning paint, which I do not have anymore, my truck is wrapped so it does dry spot free. I don't have to wipe it down, so that's probably one of my favorite things about the wrap, besides the way it looks, of course. But for drying, I recommend getting one of these large microfiber towels. It's got sort of a coarse side and then a finer side, so I hit it with the dark side first and then the light side to soak up all that water. Next up, I have a few grit guards to share with you if you are going to be washing your truck with a mitt and using like a bucket and suds. These are good because you can take them You can take the grit guard and put it on the bottom of your bucket, so when you shake off your mitt in there, all the loose micro pieces of gravel and whatever will settle on the bottom, so they won't stay attached to your sponge, so you're not wiping that down the side of your truck. In addition to the bottom grit guard, I do have this slanted piece which just goes on top of that, so you can actually use this sort of like washing your clothes back in the day, in the 1800s or whatever. You can just sort of wipe this up and down to get that grit off even faster. And then lastly, I like to use some kind of pre-treatment wheel cleaner like this. You just spray it on the wheels, because I usually like to do my wheels first. So I'll spray this on, let it sit for a minute, spray it off, and then actually wipe the wheels down with soapy water. It makes getting that brake dust off super easy. I've gone ahead and sprayed down all 4 wheels with the wheel cleaner, let it sit for about a minute or so. Now I'm going to go ahead and just take my pressure washer and blast those off, and then give it a little hand wash with my blue mitt. One thing I definitely like about these wheels, they're just basic 16-inch steelies. They are super easy to clean, first of all because they're black. They don't have some crazy pattern, and they sort of have a gloss that, I don't know why, you'd think the gloss would sort of bring out all the brake dust, but even when these things are filthy, you really can't tell unless you get up on here. So, hand washing done, just going to rinse this off, and the wheels are done. Okay, next up I am going to go ahead and hose off the entire truck to just, physically break up all the loose dirt and sand and salt and all that stuff. I'm going to do the outside, obviously work with gravity, start at the top, go to the bottom, and then I'm going to take my 90-degree attachment and get underneath. But before I do all that, I'm going to go ahead and show you what all the attachment, the spray patterns look like, beginning with the standard fan spray. Next up is the cone concentrated attachment. And then lastly, I'm using my right angle attachment with the fan spray attachment, and that's what I'll be using for the undercarriage. I don't know if you could tell on camera, but that thing definitely has some kick with those 2 attachments like that. I love that. And for the part that is certainly the most fun and entertaining, the foam cannon. So all you got to do, you're going to take your foaming soap of choice, fill the canister about 1 inch on the bottom, which is in this case about 2 ounces. And I'm just going to fill it up to the top with regular water, connect the foam cannon, and watch the blizzard. If you are using the same foam cannon that I'm using, just be careful when you tighten down the canister that you don't tighten it too hard. Just hand tight, and then maybe like 1/8 of a turn, if that. Because the first time I used this, well, one of the first times I used this, I tightened it too much and it sort of just ripped the top of the canister off, so that's kind of a pain. My only complaint really about the unit, so just be aware of that. And as you can see, 1 pass down each side, the front, top, back, that's all you really need. So this pretty much replaces you using your sponge and doing all that by hand. So you're just going to let gravity do its part, let the soap sort of soak in, loosen up all that dirt. Then I'm just going to take the sponge with a regular bucket of water and wipe everything off, and you're pretty much done. And then for the bucket of water, you can see I've got the grit guard on the bottom, the angled one right here on the side. So I'm pretty much just going to use this as a wash basin. I'm going to get this wet, start wiping the truck, and then when I go to clean it, I'm just going to rub this in and out. That'll loosen up any dirt and grit, and then that'll settle on the bottom, and the bottom grit guard will keep that from getting back on the sponge so you don't wipe it on your truck. And there's the truck after using the cloth to wipe everything off. So when you are doing this, just exercise common sense. You want to work from the top and work down, obviously, so you don't collect any grit on the bottom and bring it back up. Especially if you're using paint, try to keep with straight side-to-side motions. Don't do the circles, that's how you get those swirls. You can still get the scratch marks going side to side, but they will be less noticeable than swirl marks of the same depth just because they're all going to be uniform. So now all I really need to do is just rinse it off again with a pressure washer and dry, and we are done. I am getting ready to just rinse the truck off, but to help maintain the actual foam cannon part, I do have a little suds in there. It's pretty diluted, so it's nothing crazy, but I'm going to go ahead and run water through this, run pressurized water through this until all the suds get out, just to clean out all that from the inside. And next up, we are going to go ahead and dry it. So go ahead and grab your big microfiber towel like mine. If you do have this one that has the fine and the more coarse side, pretty much one pass with each side of the towel and the whole vehicle should be dry. But there are a few quick things you can do just to speed up that process. Go ahead and unroll all the windows to get that water wiped off. Run the wiper blades up and down once. And pop the hood and let it sit for about 5 to 10 seconds and let that water drain off. And before you ask, yes, there will be a video soon on cleaning the inside of my engine bay. I know, it's an eyesore. Bear with me. And as you can see, the truck is just about dry, and at this point I like to go ahead and do all the windows now that I went over them with the microfiber towel. If you let the windows sit with any kind of water streaks, especially on a hot day, that's how you're going to get that nasty streaking. So go ahead and take your glass cleaner of choice. I like just this regular spray away glass cleaner. I've used it for years. It's great, easy to use, and it's pretty cheap. This is just $3 or $4. And your microfiber towel, and get to work. And don't forget to give your headlights and taillights a good wipe down with the glass cleaner too. Alright, truck is looking good. I'm sure it's going to rain tonight or tomorrow, but hey, I got it clean for at least a few hours. Alright everyone, that is it for this video. Hopefully you found a few useful tips to get your Tacoma super clean now that winter is over. Go ahead and make sure you get all that salt off. I will be doing a follow-up video on a few recommended things to do to your truck after winter, and of course they all have to do with getting that salt off your vehicle, especially off that delicate frames. Please comment below if you found some useful tips in this video. Please consider subscribing if this is your first time stopping by. Hope you enjoyed the video. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I will see you in the next video. What the